Hey guys, it's Smoke Army Wifey. So, we can edit the videos, the power of editing, but I needed to edit in that this recap of the season finale Army Wife is going to contain spoilers. So, if you haven't seen it or you're one of those people that's like really busy and you had a DVR and you haven't had a chance to watch it, then you might not want to watch this or listen to this recap because I give some spoilers. So, with that said, stay tuned. Hey everyone, it's me, Army Wife 101, or Army Mocha Wifey. Um, so normally I've been trying to stick to my blogging and doing everything I need to do as far as writing because I find that a lot of my wonderful followers like to read. But because I'm talking about last night's season 3 finale of Lifetime's Army Wives, I felt like wow, no, I had to blog this. I had to vlog it. I'm sorry, video blog. Okay, where do I start? Normally, what I'm going to say and all that stuff. I want to go off emotion with this one. I do have a little recap that I got offline, so as I give the recap, I'll go into more detail. Okay, so of course this is episode 18, I believe, or episode 19. This was the finale from last week. For those who maybe have been watching some and not really fully, I'll just give you sort of a up-to-date recap for last week. We all know the Sherwoods, which is Denise and Frank. Their son Jeremy served in Iraq. Unfortunately, about a week before Jeremy was due to come home, his best friend was killed. I'm sorry, people. I have something in my throat. Jeremy's been dealing with a lot of guilt because of that. He feels like it was his fault, and and where I think the show was trying to go is they're trying to touch on what some soldiers go through as far as maybe PTSD, depression, and all those things. Okay, which this is leading up to the as we know, Roland shares a practice with a supposed doctor named Dr. Terrence Price. Last week, we see all of a sudden that after attempting to go get a patient off the streets who was having a drug overdose, some cops pulled up. I guess thought maybe they were doing something other than trying to get this woman in the car and get her some help. They were arrested, and that's when it came out that apparently Dr. Price is doing some underhanded stuff or has been on the run, and he up and leaves Roland at the practice. We know that Joan is in Iraq. Roxy and Trevor pretty much just been dealing with their whole thing. Trevor with the recruiting, and of course Pamela and Chase are going through their big thing with. I don't know what Chase has going on, to be quite honest. I cannot figure that storyline out to save my life. Okay, so now here we come to season 3, and I'm going fast because I don't know if I'm going to run out of memory card. The show comes on. Frank, which is the Sherwood, Major Sherwood, Michael Holden, and a host of other military personnel are in a meeting room. Last week, I forgot to mention, Jeremy got into a bar fight. That was the ending. He got into a bar fight. He was drunk. He came to Roxy's bar drunk and got into a bar fight. Well, when season 3 season finale premiered yesterday, you see them sitting in a room, and basically Roxy's bar becomes off limits to soldiers. And anybody that's military knows how that can happen. Certain stores or anything can be put off limit to soldiers. So, of course, I think Sherwood and Michael were both kind of blindsided by that. It turns out the woman that the guy that Jeremy had a fight with was the son of a city councilwoman, and we all know that the other big thing is that the base is going through what we in real life have, which I believe is called bracts, where certain military bases were being closed. Well, because of this fight, they need the support of the city council because, of course, what's the bait? Oh gosh, I'm having a brain fart. Fort Marshall is possibly being considered to be closed down. So they need the support of this woman, but her son is the one who had the fight with Jeremy. So Michael puts Roxy's bar on the ban list, and no soldiers are allowed to go there. Okay, which brings us to Roxy and Trevor. We all know Trevor took a position as a recruiter. Roxy's pregnant. We all know Trevor wanted a baby, but just as Roxy was getting ready to tell Trevor the news and make this big dinner, Trevor said, Rox, well, bills, blah, blah, blah. I don't think maybe it's the right time, which of course Roxy's looking at him all crazy. I would have just told him, look, I'm pregnant, but they have to be dramatic. So at that point, she holds off on telling him whatever, and she's all upset or whatever. And that was one of the reasons because of the whole bar thing, because 90% of their probably a clientele is soldiers. Okay? Michael and Claudia Joy prepare for Michael's promotion ceremony. I think he became a second star general or something. So, him and Emmeline and Claudia pinned him, and that was a nice little thing. Bring in this new general that's there for the whole BRAC thing. He happens to tell them, hey, my wife is going to be attending. Well, what do you know? When Denise and Claudia and all the crew were standing there, you see the legs of this woman walking in slow motion. And everybody's like, oh, I wonder who his new wife is going to be. Well, who the hell do you know it was? But Lenore Baker. And for those of you who are fans of the show, you know who Lenore Baker is. She was the last general's wife who was just a big pain in the behind. So that was that. That was funny. I mean, that was the first time I ever watched the show and I went, like, I couldn't believe they brought her back. um, Pamela reaches a breaking point in her marriage. We all know something's been going on with Chase with this whole he came back and we don't know if he was a POW, if he had been beaten. We don't know what's going on. But he seems to be more into his job than he is into his family. Pamela basically tells him, look, if you don't, you know, they were supposed to go on a family trip. He took a position to do some training after he promised the kids he was going to take them on the trip. And she said, look, if you take this, I'm not going to be here when you get back, blah, blah, blah. Well, Chase comes home one day. Pamela is gone. Closets are empty. Stuff thrown all over. So I think he's got the message that, wow, she wasn't really playing. Um, so we don't know where that's going to go, but it's going to go somewhere. Of course, Roland is struggling, you know, with being an army wife in some sense. You know, taking care of the baby. He's running this business. Of course, Terrence Price has left, the doctor that he was running the business with. So he's left to run on his own. You see him going through stacks of papers. He's trying to run groups and take care of patients. It's only one doctor. As he's doing all this, he's getting ready to take over one of Terrence Price's groups. The FBI comes in and raids the place. Turns out Terrence Price was a former he bombed, I guess, a government building or tried to, and he was also, you know, a big protester from way back in the day, and he has another name. So that's the thing with him. So we're gonna see where that goes and what happens. Um, let's see. The lady, she's not really a major part of the show, but she has been the last couple of episodes. I forgot her name. The one, the African American lady that helps Roxy run the bar. She finally took the job as the singer. Remember, somebody came in and offered her a job as a singer, so she took that. Roxy told her to go follow her dreams. Um, and of course, towards the end, um, basically Jeremy had been just going through the whole episode, and you could feel the tension building up. Um, Denise and Frank are coming back from somewhere. They pull up in the driveway, and they're flirting around in the car, and they get out the car, and you just see a bang of light through the window, and you see Frank running in slow motion. So we assume that Jeremy has committed suicide.